Hey, something happened with my mic in this episode, and audio setting got changed, and it's peaking for the whole fucking episode. I don't have time to reshoot it. If the sound is terrible and you can't bear it, I don't listen. I understand. I'll fix it before next time, but I don't know what happened. I know the setting got changed, and I just realized it's too late. My apologies.
Got a little button. It's red.
Red shows up.
Flash.
Well, I think that means the podcast has started. I think we've started. That's Good Broncos. I am Brandon. It has been the toughest 24 hours of being a dad to date. Perna here with Will, my rock, Keys. You think when... Yeah. When somebody says, like, that person's my rock, do you think people just now think of Dwayne Johnson instead of an actual rock?
Yeah, I think so. Well, the fact that you said Dwayne Johnson there leads me to believe that he is becoming Dwayne Johnson and not simply The Rock.
Interesting.
Because there's that pivot where he became credited as Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. I think, yeah, if I was going to have somebody be my rock, it would be The Rock. And
well, he's got a lot of money.
A lot of money, a lot of muscles. He's like, isn't he like the most famous person on earth now or something? Or the highest paid actor? He's one of those things.
You think he's more famous than Tom Brady?
Yeah.
7-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
5-time Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
Took 43 shots today at the
parade. That's the most I've liked Tom Brady, is seeing him stumble out of the victory parade drunk.
That was like stumbling out of the bar.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. Like top 5 most fucked up in your life kind of drunk.
Yeah, he was
not like just having a good time.
He was ripped.
He was about to fall over.
Yeah, he had a guy literally holding him up.
I thought for a second that was Blaine Gabbert holding him up.
Oh.
But it looked just like some random staffer.
Yeah.
I think that it should be. This is gonna be a benchwarmer tweet. I think it should be in the backup quarterback's job description to have to carry the starter when he's
drunk. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's really fair.
I mean, you're not doing much else.
No. Look out for your guy when he's drunk. Make sure he doesn't get hurt so you don't have to do any work. Like, it's not because you care about that man. It's because you don't want to have to go out and start on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Real bench warmers don't want to play. They just want to collect a check.
Yeah. And Blaine Gabbert is he's becoming a legendary backup in my eyes.
No, he really is. He was he made an appearance at the Super Bowl, fired up on the sideline. Every time I hear the name Blaine Gabbert, I just think of Mel Kiper touting him in that draft. I feel like he was like his first or second favorite quarterback that year. He's like, Blaine Gabbert, blah, 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 Blaine Gabbert. I was like, who the fuck is Blaine Gabbert? And still a question many people might be asking.
It's so crazy because it was so blatantly, no pun intended, obvious that just like hearing his name and looking at him, he's like, this is not going to be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Not a chance. And then he goes to one of the worst possible situations in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Like, he really doesn't have a chance this time. That one was tough because you had Cam Newton at 1, and then Blaine Gabbert was the 10th pick. You want to know who the next pick was? You know who they could have had?
Oh, who?
JJ Watt.
Oh.
Blaine goes, all right, this is crazy because the 9th pick, the pick right before him, Tyron Smith, future Hall of Famer.
Wow.
AJ Watt after him, future Hall of Famer. That's a crazy draft class. You got Cam Newton, Von Miller, Marcel Darius, AJ Green, Patrick Peterson, Julio Jones, Alden Smith. Then you have Jake Locker, Smith, Gabbert, Watt, Christian Ponder, Nick Fairley, Robert Quinn, Mike Pouncey, Kerrigan, Solder, Legit, Amukamura.
Wow. Yeah, those first 10 picks, pretty damn solid. It was like you couldn't miss there.
A lot of Pro Bowlers. First 7, all Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, wow. That's rare. You don't see that very often. Today we've got some Broncos news, some actual Broncos news to talk about with AJ Bouy getting released. We'll try and figure out if Russell Wilson really wants to get the hell out of Seattle. And some more backup news. Taylor Heinicke going to be around in Washington for a little bit. Today's episode brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use code DNVR when you sign up to take advantage of DraftKings. Yeah, if you want to take advantage of them, use that code. Use it good. AJ Bouy, all right. This was not a surprise that the Broncos released him. You and I are in the same opinion that he got probably more shit than he deserved this last season. It was like, as soon as he got suspended, everybody's like, he's bad anyway. Like, no, well, he got hurt, and then he played through an injury, and then he started playing, decent football, and then he got suspended. I get it didn't work out, and I get the Broncos are going to save, like $13 million or $11.3 million or some shit by releasing him. He just didn't get a fair shake. Circumstances kind of outside of his control. I get why the Broncos move on from him. I wouldn't have been mad if they kept him. I think he would have played decent next year. But they're starting to make some moves. This won't be the first, according to Ben Albright. But like he said last week, he expects them to re-sign Justin Simmons and Shelby Harris. And that's probably the reason they're freeing up some money. Anything to add on the details of this, Will? Did I miss anything?
He played in 7 games last year, so he had the injury, and then I think it was a 4-game suspension for performance enhancing.
6, I think.
6?
Yeah, I think he was going to miss. He had to miss 4, and then he was going to miss 2 this year.
Ray Rice got 2 games. 6 passes defensed, didn't have an interception, but they do free up $13 million in cap space, which is not nothing. And the cap's like $6 million higher than we thought it would be. So it's not going to be, I don't know, it's not going to be a disaster. It's going to change the way it's going to change the way players look for deals. Like, they're going to look for short-term deals, I think, this offseason. So you're going to get, those 1-year, prove it deals. You're going to get a lot of those, I think. And then players that try to cash in next year.
And 90% of those players will be doing 1-year prove it deals down in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Adrian Peterson wants to go play there now. It's like, fuck off, guys. Quit taking the easy road to the Super Bowl. Peterson's been around a while, I guess.
Didn't that game,
he's put in his dues.
That it's really, really hard to win 2 Super Bowls in a row.
Not for Tom Brady. He can do anything, Will.
I mean, he hasn't since 2004, has he?
Nope. So I hope somebody gets good.
You gotta join the team that's winning next year.
Yeah. I hope that Shaq Barrett does not go back. I hope he maxes out his deal. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings. There's no reason for him to take some team-friendly deal in Tampa. I want to see him go somewhere that I can really, really root for him next year with the fat wad of cash.
He'd be good in Buffalo, wouldn't he?
Oh, Buffalo needs pass rush help too. They can't afford. They've got to make some cuts. Yeah. And that's every year the stories about John Elway fucking sucking somehow. People want to shit on him for some reason. But the Broncos, despite the cap coming down a bunch, are in a decent cap spot. I think they're top 10 of cap space available. So some of maybe the conservative moves that they've made in terms of money, uh, they might benefit more than other teams this offseason. Again, will it matter if they don't figure out quarterback? No, but they have a chance to sign their guys that they have in house and maybe one or two free agents that can make an impact. I think most of their help's going to have to come through the draft, but it just depends on, like you're saying, how the market is. If a bunch of guys are taking 1 year, prove it, more team friendly deals, I guess, then maybe the Broncos can get more than I'm assuming they're going to go after in free agency. And there's a big question mark with the new GM. We don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know his method, his philosophy. We don't know anything about that. We're probably about to find out. I mean, the Bouye thing's like really the first significant move that he's made, right?
Yeah. And I
think that happened either way. Whoever was at GM.
Yeah. I hope they sign a corner in free agency. Like they make like a value signing there, and that they use one of their top draft picks on one. Assuming
yeah, I think that's a good point. But
I would like Richard Sherman's going to be available. He's going to play 2 years. That's like a guy who's probably still going to make your team better. Past his prime, but he's not going to cost a ton, I feel like. And
is he fit? Is he like a?
I don't know.
I know he's pretty like scheme dependent.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think he's a zone guy. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, apparently Fangio wants more zone guys. I don't know.
Maybe.
I saw some meme about it, so I just assume it's true.
I mean, the last time like we really heard from Richard Sherman, he was getting toasted in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But
yeah, maybe like you don't want him on Tyreek Hill.
That's probably a good point. Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe give us a young, fast guy.
Yeah, so you got the options at number 9 in the draft. Pretty much Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech. And then
I like that name because I got a friend named Farley, so I feel good about him right away.
It's like Chris Farley.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not bad. He's significantly more athletic, better and more in shape. Patrick Surtain, we found out with Antoine Winfield that the sons of defensive backs are good draft picks.
Going to be key in helping you get a Super Bowl.
Yep. I can't
also,
son.
Prime to talk shit to Tyreek Hill, so I'll bet on that. And Surtain's dad was a former Chief, so that could be real interesting.
He was. That's true. He was a Dolphin and a Chief. Good catch. And you got free agent quarterbacks. Andrew Mason put together a list. You got Chidobe Awuzie, who played at Colorado. That makes a little bit of sense.
He was in Dallas, right?
He's in Dallas.
Never lived. Well, here's interesting. So Chidobe Awuzie going to be available, as is. Well, they're unrestricted free agents. We don't know if they'll definitely be available, but also from Colorado, Akello Witherspoon. So they played together at CU.
He went to Christian Brothers High School in Sacramento.
Witherspoon?
A rival high school, yeah.
Oh, so since he's got local ties to both of us, I say Witherspoon should be the Broncos' top priority in free agency. That's how we're going to base our decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So
purely logical. I don't give a shit if he was 0.0 PFF rating. Who cares? Get him.
Yeah, Witherspoon, Sherman, and Jason Verrett, all in San Francisco, all going to be unrestricted free agents.
Verrett is like that one's a tough one because you're like,
yeah,
all right, he was he was finally healthy for a year. Do you want to bet on it again?
That's like the biggest high risk, high reward signing, right?
Yeah.
Because he played pretty damn good in San Francisco. But a guy who's hurt 4 out of the 5 seasons we've seen him in the NFL, that's like, if you can get him for the right price, it's worth it. But man, that's a risk.
There's no reason for Verrett to sign like a really team friendly deal. He's like, I proved it last year. I can stay healthy.
Yeah, if there's one guy who's gonna want a 100% long-term deal this year, it's Jason Barrett.
Yeah. And yeah, you kind of see it from both ways. But so to round out that list, you got Shaq Griffin, Seattle, Troy Hill from the Rams. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Mike Hilton from the Steelers, Billy Jackson III, Bengals, Desmond King, Chargers, Titans, Patrick Peterson. I don't know if that's really going to happen. Conflicting reports there. Xavier Rhodes, who's, Minnesota thought he was done, and then
played better for the
Colts. Got a good year out of him, and then Richard Sherman, who you brought up.
Richie Sherman.
So and there's a rumor floating around that Marshawn Lattimore could be on the trade market.
Right, because the Saints have to free up some money.
Yeah, they got to free up some big money. I don't know if that's the guy they want to get rid of him, but then again, they may not have a choice because this will be his 5th year, I think, now, and he's gonna command the pretty big payday based on his first 4 years in the NFL.
Yeah, he's gonna make money.
Well, they have 2 guys from that first round to pay with Ramczyk and Marshawn Lattimore, so maybe they can only keep one. I don't know. Tackles are suddenly the Ravens tackle wants to trade Orlando Brown.
Yeah, son of Orlando Brown.
No kidding.
Yeah. Orlando Brown Jr., son of legendary tackle Orlando Brown.
Speaking of offensive linemen, Russell Wilson wants some O linemen in Seattle.
Yes, he does.
Let me ask you this question, because I think it's an important distinction. He's been sacked 394 times in 144 regular season games. He got sacked 47 times last year.
Yeah.
He's the 3rd most. How much of it is having a shitty offensive line? How much of it is he's just Russell Wilson and he plays kind of gets outside the pocket and kind of runs into some
plays like Mahomes, but he's now what, over 30? How old's Russell Wilson?
Something like that. I'm gonna say 30 on the dot.
Let's see here. Russell Wilson. I don't want NFC Championship game. I just want 32. See, that's the thing. Like
he wants to pay. He said on Dan Patrick wants to play 10 to 15 more years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's gonna have to adjust his style of play. That's the thing with like people who think that like Mahomes will play for like he'll play 10 more years for sure. He's still young, but like you want to start comparing him to Tom Brady. All those guys will have to adjust the way they play late in their career because they'll just they'll be hurt. That's when your body can't take all those shots. So Wilson, I would say their offensive line has gotten a little bit better. Like they've made some improvements there. It's probably, I want to say like 50-50. Like I don't think the Seahawks have a great pass blocking offensive line. I also think Russell Wilson's the type of player who tries to extend every play he can, and when you do that, you're going to take sacks. And over like the last year or two, I've noticed, so Wilson used to be so good at doing that backward snake run, where they go one way, get free, and make the throw. He's tried to do that, but he's been fucking sacked because he's just... after 30 hits, you get just a little bit slower. You get a little slower back there. And those defensive linemen, man, they stay the same. So, yeah, I think it's half and half. I don't think he's going to... I mean, he was saying shit on Dan Patrick's show that would lead you to believe, like, he's ready to get the fuck out of there. But, I don't think he is. Like we talked about in the episode yesterday... I think it's just these quarterbacks want more control, and so they're trying to come at it like guns a-blazing, let me have some more say, or then we might actually have an issue. So that's my take on it, I guess. What do you think?
It's also hard to make those demands when you make it like you yourself are a huge chunk
Mm-hmm.
of the salary cap.
Yeah. He just signed like $140 million deal. He's
Yeah.
1 year in on it or some shit, right?
Right. So, maybe I don't know, like if it
Maybe do a
might pay off in the long
$120
run.
million deal?
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady gets to. I mean, you married Ciara. She's probably got some money. Tom Brady
Yeah.
married Giselle Bundchen, who's the richest female model
Yeah.
on earth, I think. So he gets to take those like $25 million deals, and it leaves the Bucks a little bit of room to work with. And I think too, like if you give up a little bit of money in the short term to protect yourself, you extend your career, you probably make that money back on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, Wilson, all right, so 2020 his cap hit was 31 million. This year it'll be 32 million. 2022 it will be 37 million. 2023 39 million. Now that said, the Seahawks have an out year in 2022 with just a $26 million dead cap hit. So
It's a little bit of money.
I think Brady, even with all his incentives, will make 28 million this year. So if you're a quarterback and you can keep that cap hit under 30 million, then you're buying yourself an extra player or two that the team should be able to sign. But then as a quarterback, like if you're going to take that leap of faith and take less money, you have to know that the team is going to make those moves because there's nothing that's going to hold them to it.
True. Yeah, I mean it's got to be spent wisely.
Yeah, you
And I
just
don't know if like he's the guy who's like, all right, you have to take this tackle at this pick. I mean, if he's going out there and saying like, I need to be protected a little bit more, then that's influence there. He doesn't need to be like in the war room necessarily, but that's influence just right there, and it's pressure too. I don't
yeah,
think there's any like reason he would want to be traded necessarily,
no.
but I mean maybe there's a reason. I don't think that's ever going to be a reality. Even though like there's always been some weird rumors like before he got signed last year. I don't know. I just don't see it happening necessarily. Although it would be interesting to see if that drives down Deshaun Watson's price tag at all. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen there.
I just want them. I'm done hearing about this. I don't want this to drag on for another 3 months, which is kind of what it's looking like.
With Watson?
Yeah. I think maybe the NFL needs to step in.
Maybe.
It's a weird vibe. It's becoming a Christian mega church in there.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want. That is the last thing you want. It's such a joke. It's like I can't even believe what's happening. That's how ludicrous it is to me.
It's one man and his like mediocre charisma, turning into Machiavelli and ruining the Texans from the inside.
Yeah. It's almost like Cal McNair has to be living in an isolated bubble where he doesn't see anything that's happening outside of maybe what like is put in front of him, and it's put in front of him by Jack Easterby. You know what I mean? Like
It feels like it feels like that scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Brad Pitt shows up to Spawn Ranch and he wants to talk to Bruce Dern, and it's all like the Manson family outside who's like
Right.
taking over the ranch, and they say that Mr. Spawn's back there, but you don't really know. He's like, is he dead? Is he even there?
Yeah.
Are they totally taking advantage of him? Is he lucid? That's what it feels like with Cal McNair.
Yeah.
And Jack Easterby in this analogy is absolutely Charles Manson.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got dead bodies somewhere. Allegedly.
They probably killed themselves after hearing his stand-up routine.
Oh my god. That's my favorite fucking thing I've seen all off season. Hey man, hey y'all. You think Jesus ever did the crip walk on water?
Boo!
No? Hey y'all, you know what they do down there in Texas? They wear belt buckles. I think we already talked about this, so I'm going to say this. DraftKings Sportsbook will not Easterbee you. No. They will set the over for the Lakers-Nuggets game this coming week on Valentine's Day, 2/14. The Nuggets play the Lakers on VD Day at 8 p.m. I shouldn't call it VD Day.
Yeah.
What's that?
I was gonna say VD Day is.
Don't call it VD Day. It says right here in the notes. For every 1,000 users we get to bet on this, DraftKings will lower the over by 1 point. You guys, the more we get people in on this bet, the more money we can guarantee ourselves. And DK will continue to do this for us if it becomes a hit. Let's get this thing to 0. It's a no-brainer. So here it is again. We are asking you, the fans, the bettors, the community, to start rallying behind this. For every 1,000 people to opt in, DraftKings Sportsbook will lower the over total by 1 point. So mark your calendars and make sure you place the over bet on the Lakers versus the Nuggies this Sunday, Valentine's Day, VD Day, 2/14. It doesn't matter how many units, half units, etc. that you place. All that matters is that you place the bet to get that over down to 0. Let's go. It's a no-brainer. Code DNVR. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-522-4700. Use the hashtag HammerTheOver on social when you place the bet. Let's get this trending, guys and gals. Do it. Do it
now.
Sometimes I just ad-lib do it. Do it.
It's working.
Yeah.
Surprised that wasn't in the copy. VD Day sounds
VD Day. Venereal.
Potentially the worst holiday of all time.
Yeah. I don't want to get a VD.
No.
You've got Valentine's Day, Veterans Day, and Venereal Day. There's too many VD days. And if you mix up which VD day it is, not good results. Hopefully, though, on Valentine's Day, you're with somebody you know doesn't have VD. Or you both have VD and you just give it back and forth to each other.
It's like a math equation. It cancels out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're with someone long enough to celebrate Valentine's Day with them, hopefully you'd have prior knowledge.
Yeah. Get that history checklist out, you know?
Venereal D's. Yeah. Good segue.
Yeah, good segue to talking about Taylor Heinicke. Taylor Heinicke.
The way he crushes beers, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a couple now.
Yeah, I think they're seltzers. He's crushing seltzers. Anyway, Washington signed him to a 2-year deal worth $8.75 million. So he made $8 million for, what, 2 starts? 1 playoff start?
I don't even know if he started the other game. I think he just started the playoff game. I mean, he played with Carolina, I think, back a couple years ago. Then he was in the XFL.
Yeah.
He was taking math classes before the season when Washington called. Pretty much solely the Ron Rivera Scott Cooper, I think his name is. That might be a movie director. Might also be the name of the coach. Anyway, there's just like there's a story that his Old Dominion Pro Day, only one coach showed up, and it was the coach from the Panthers who followed Ron Rivera to Washington. So as long as it feels like as long as Ron Rivera has a job, then so does Taylor Heinicke.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he earned
a chance to compete.
He earned a chance to compete, and he's definitely good enough to be your backup. I mean, yes. He went into a playoff game against the Buccaneers defense, who was great all postseason, and he didn't suck. Like, he gave Washington kind of a chance. Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I think that's a great story. Small sample size. Obviously, if he plays for a prolonged time, there's no guarantee he plays every game like that. But at the very least, because Washington's going to make a move for a quarterback. So they'll bring somebody in. Maybe they draft somebody. I don't know. If Taylor Heinicke is the guy going in to replace your starter, I feel pretty good about that. Which leads me to an idea. I think I cut it out of the episode. But I am under the new idea that bringing in veteran quarterbacks as backups is stupid unless you have a franchise QB already. So, like, a lot of people are like, the Broncos should bring in Andy Dalton or bring in, these other guys. And that doesn't make any sense to me because you're going to overpay for a backup quarterback for a veteran. And I really don't think young quarterbacks are learning a ton from the veteran quarterbacks that are their backups. Maybe a little bit. I don't know for sure.
Well, it definitely depends on the guy.
But my thought is, okay, say the Broncos bring in Andy Dalton to back up Drew Lock. And Drew Lock is either benched because he's playing poorly or gets hurt. And then Andy Dalton comes in and wins you a couple games and basically screws you out of being able to draft your next quarterback. So it's like counterproductive. You bring in a veteran QB to back up a young guy, and then you realize the young guy's not the guy. All that veteran QB is going to do is probably hurt your chances of getting the next young guy. So my thought is, if you got a young quarterback, just have other young quarterbacks as backups. So if he doesn't work out, you just test the next guy out. Like
Brett Rippon.
Exactly, Will.
Why aren't people on board with Brett Rippon being the backup?
Aren't on board?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get that you're trying to add another guy, but didn't you keep Brett Rippon on the roster this whole time?
Yes.
Groom him to be the long-term backup?
Yeah, to me, the Broncos, because I don't think they'll be able to get Deshaun Watson. But their quarterback carousel this year should be Drew Lock, Gardner Minshew, and Brett Rippon. They're all cheap, they're all young, and maybe one of them could be your next QB. I'm not sure any of them are, but if Lock's not working out, go to Gardner. If Gardner's not working out, go to fucking Brett Rippon. And then heading into the draft, none of these guys are it. We need to draft another young guy. I cut it out of the episode because it kind of takes a while to make that point. But yeah, I don't want to see Nick Foles or Andy Dalton in Denver under any circumstances next year.
Especially Nick Foles, you get the specter, that big dick behind you. You're always going to be looking over your shoulder.
Oh yeah, you are. Fearing that it's just going to knock you unconscious, and that's going to be what knocks you out of the game. Oh, Drew Lock got fucking a concussion in the locker room because Nick Foles turned around and Lock had his helmet off. It was like on basketball when their giant dicks whip across the screen.
Yeah, Ben Albright reporting that Drew Lock has been thwapped in the face by Nick Foles.
But that's the thing,
I agree. And then, a guy plays poorly, for 2 games and everybody's screaming, play Andy Dalton, play Andy Dalton. Like, you went to playoff games.
Yeah.
So the fuck what? Like, he's not going to be the long-term answer. You want a backup to be a guy, with a small ego who's going to help the quarterback prepare and can step in a pinch. And
you want Bubby Brister, baby.
You want Bubby goddamn Brister.
That's right. You want Bubby Brister. That's all you want.
You don't want Jameis Winston. That's who you don't want.
No, you don't want famous Jameis. Like, don't use money on any of those guys. Like, unless you're actually getting an upgrade over Drew Lock, like a long-term upgrade. Like, you could argue that Andy Dalton might come in and win you more games than Drew Lock, but what, for 1 or 2 seasons? You're in the exact same spot you were before. So, like, if the Broncos don't get a guy like Watson, and they don't draft a guy, I want the plan to be you start Drew Lock the whole season. Good or bad, you let him start the whole season. And the only exception for me is Gardner Minshew, because I think you could argue either one could be better, and I would be fine with that. I think physically Lock has more talent, but I don't know. Gardner, there's something appealing about him besides his weird rednecky famous shtick he's got going now.
Yeah, he's got this trailer park kind of charm that makes him hard to ignore.
Yeah. He's like, every guy wants to be able to be as fucking trashy as Gardner Minshew and still be as cool.
Yeah.
That's like the dream.
And have NFL money too.
Yeah.
To appear poor, but to really be rich.
Exactly. And not have to, like, I'm going for that right now. I'm going for that Unabomber look, but people just keep saying you look like shit, bro. Get some sleep, dude.
Yeah. If the Unabomber was played by Jared Leto, which might not be bad, might be a pretty good movie.
Actually, it might. Leto's got chops.
The Unabomber, he bombed one of his. I think the last bomb he ever sent, or the last one that ever like detonated, was down the street from me.
Oh, really?
A few blocks. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Got someone.
Sacramento's got some ties to some famous criminals.
Of serial killers. A lot of serial killers. I'm not one of them, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what about the area just kind of either attracts serial killers or produces serial killers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do know my mom drove the same car as the Golden State Killer back in his heyday when they're looking for him. I mean, they were looking for him for a long time.
Yeah.
But apparently she got the call. The cops called on her because she was like hanging outside her friend's house in her car and like turned the headlights off, and just a big swarm of cop cars.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they didn't catch that guy, I would have my suspicions.
Maybe.
Mama Keys. Mama Keys sounds like one of the islands off of Florida. Which one did you go to? I went to Mama Keys with Gardner Minshew.
That was my vacation spot.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get out of here.
Florida just looks like fun, doesn't it?
What does?
Watching that Florida looks like fun. Watching that parade.
Oh, dude, that parade looks so fun. It's what I put in the script for tomorrow. Just like, it's fucking badass. Like, all parades should be done on not land anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough, if you're Kansas City.
Yeah.
To do a parade on water.
They're close enough to the Mississippi River, Missouri River. They're close to some river.
Yeah, you do a Huckleberry Finn type float down the river.
Yeah, they got gambling casino boats down there.
Yeah, riverboat.
Riverboat. Yeah.
I think if you have if you're coastal, you have to take advantage of your water.
Yeah, it looked fun. It looked really
Have a
fun.
nautical parade. Mm-hmm.
And it produced the first truly likable Tom Brady moment I've ever seen.
Likeable, relatable. His Twitter team already did a shitty tweet about it.
The avocado thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to make fun of that too. It's like, oh, now you're stealing everybody else's joke they already made?
It's so, yeah, it's like he made that Twitter to be more relatable, and that, it's so clearly artificial that it makes it, less relatable.
Yeah. What's not artificial? Not being able to walk because you're too drunk.
Yeah,
Can't fake that one. Can't fake that one.
Real. That's as real as it gets. Good for him.
Cooler move. Drunk walking Tom Brady or beer buying Aaron Rodgers in the back of a pickup truck.
Anything Aaron Rodgers does is a little bit cooler. I was gonna say, the Super Bowl last year gave us Scooter Elway. This one gave us stumbling Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I wonder what next year will bring us.
Moped Mahomes.
Moped Mahomes. Yeah. There we go.
All right, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back every week, like always. John Elway tore his ACL on a scooter.